From time to time, I will have unusually busy weeks, and that makes it hard to produce videos. And so I often use content that I have produced over at Patreon, and I release it as a bonus video on YouTube. So everybody here gets to listen to this content thanks to the generosity of my patrons who support my work every month. So to my patrons, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to those who are interested in getting more videos just like this one, just visit patreon.com/thelovechat, and when you join Patreon, you get access to about 130 extra videos you've never seen before on YouTube. So enjoy this one, folks. I think this one's pretty important. Before we move any further into the video, I just ate an entire sub sandwich, and I want to die. So before you take any advice that I'm about to give you, just remember that this is the guy you're getting it from. Now then, hello. In this video, meant for my exclusive patrons, thank you so much for supporting me, I want to give you just some general life advice, and I hope that it rings true for you. And if you have an addendum or a change or some thoughts on anything in this video, please feel free to leave it below, as this is never a "you're on my channel and you listen to me, so I'm right all the time." No, it's more of a community, and we share ideas in communities, and we get exposed to new ideas, etc. So I guess that's one of the pieces of life advice, although I can't really steal that. That comes from Jordan Peterson, who says, always assume the person you're speaking to knows something you don't, which I think is a fantastic piece of advice. I have trouble applying it sometimes, but I agree with it. My piece of advice, not even about breakups, though it works for breakups as well, is something counterintuitive. It's get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Every single time we get too comfy, we get punished. I mean, every time. Think about that. We'll put it into the context of dating, but again, it's more of a general idea. Every time you get too comfy with the same person, your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then eventually, you or they or both of you break up and leave. Because the world got smaller and it began revolving around one thing: comfort. Oh, sure, the other person, but the other person represents comfort. A known area of the jungle where you've explored many times. You know where you can go. You know that there will be no animals you can't deal with. You know that all the fruit will not be poisonous. It's survivally, it makes perfect sense. But when you really dive into the nitty-gritty of it all, comfort is exactly why we become unhappy. Too much comfort. Now, doing something counterintuitive, scary, unknown, yeah, you might get hurt. But it's 2021. We have supermarkets and cars and iPhones and guns. Really, I'm not such a fan of the last one, but the point is we have it. So, survivally speaking, we're not evolving as quick as our technology and our romance and our culture in general is. So the best piece of advice I can give you is get uncomfortable. Go do that new thing that you've been putting off. Go be the fool so that one day you can be the master. Again, to rip Jordan Peterson, who ultimately rips everything he knows from Carl Jung. It is what it is. I can't even say rip because honestly he credits just like I'm crediting, so it's not ripping, it's more just an homage. So go do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Go ask that person out. Go get that rejection. And you don't even know if it's going to be a rejection. You're just assuming it's going to be a rejection. And then you paralyze yourself with too much thinking. We're going to do scary things sometimes, and they're always going to be for our benefit. And if they're not for our benefit and something bad happens, it's still for our benefit because we're making a mistake, but within a mistake you learn. So it's not really a mistake, is it? Because you walked away with new knowledge. You walked away stronger. And sure, maybe a consequence you didn't like was delivered to you, but can you really say you're not better for the experience in some way? And yeah, there might be monsters that you're not entirely equipped to deal with, but I bet if you face the unknown enough times, you will be, and your discomfort zone will eventually turn into a new comfort zone. And when you get too comfy, you repeat the process. Stay uncomfortable. I mean, look at things like the gym. The gym is something I use as an example all the time. You go to the gym, you lift heavy weights, and maybe you can't even lift that heavy at the beginning, and that's fine because you're not expected to. You're going to a place to do a thing that is deeply uncomfortable, even painful, and it makes you feel gross and sweaty. But when you're done, you're glad you did it. And that is the simplest manifestation of this idea that I can summon in my mind at this moment. Get uncomfortable. That's my piece of advice. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be who everybody wants you to be and just focus on being who you are instead. And within that, get uncomfortable. Chim chim chiroo. Toodles.